Good morning, punters, and welcome to day one of Jingle Bets. This is the festive football betting show where I'll be showing you how I've been using our free Accumulator and Bet Builder tool to find value bets and achieve a 9% ROI over 211 bets this season. We're with you every day until January the 5th, so buckle up for a month of betting insights. In today's episode, I'll be breaking down exactly how I use the tools and share my Accumulator, best bets, and Bet Builder tips for the EFL and the Premier League games. If you find this helpful, don't forget to drop a like on the video and feel free to ask any questions. I will reply to everyone, so drop a comment below if you have a question. So let's dive straight into it and get this wrapped up in 10 minutes so you can crack on with your day. Our brand new Accumulator tool has been out since Thursday and the winners are already rolling in. We've had people send in 20 to 1, 9 to 1 and 10 to 3 winners all within the first few days. The Bet Scout makes finding the stat-based bets simple and efficient. Select the form that matters to you the most and let our model do the hard work. The main accumulator markets are set as default here, but others can be turned on and off as you wish. And then the goals, cards, corners, shots and fouls can all be tailored towards your needs for ACCAs or for bet builders. By default, the tool analyzes the last 5 games, but you can easily adjust that to use 6, 8, whatever you see fit, or home and away, or all competitions if you want to use that. But these are the default settings. So whether you're building your own strategy or looking for quick insights, the Bet Scout gives you total control. Each recommended bet, once you select that, show results. Each recommended bet is assigned a unique scout score, which reflects how teams are performing in the chosen markets. These insights are powerful to guide your betting decisions, but for the best results, I recommend combining it with other factors like team news, injury, tactical and player matchups, as well as your own research. So let's get into looking at today's selections. The top 2 bets are obviously both teams score no. I personally don't want to put those in my accumulator, so I'm going to ignore them. Bradford Barrow, 80%. I tend to try and look at games above 80%, to be honest with you, using the last 5 games, and then the last 6. That's where I've had most success using the Bet Builder tool. So you can see Bradford Barrow. If you click into the form, you can go a bit more deeper into the individual games. The one thing that did concern me for Barrow is I looked at a broader spectrum of Barrow's away form, and they've only actually scored in 3 out of their 8 away games. So I think I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to leave the underbets as well because personally I don't like betting them. The first selection is going to be Colchester and Swindon, both teams to score. This looks really good. Swindon, you can see here, have been in a goal fest the last 5 games. They've also seen both teams score in 8 of their 9 away games and scored in 3 out of 4 against the top 8 sides. So that looks good. Colchester have also scored in 6 out of their last 8 and 6 out of the last 8 at home. So although they failed to score away at Fleetwood and they didn't see BTS, but they were both away, their home form looks solid for both teams to score angle. The next bet up I like is high flying Wycombe. Obviously you can see here we've got Wycombe to win, BTTS no at the top here, and Wycombe win or draw. That's just one of the little quirks that we're going to have without having odds integrated, is that they're going to be suggested bets where it's going to be really short basically, and we can't get around that without having an odds filter in. So once we have, while we don't have that in, you will have to sort of deal with these bets going to be sort of like 1 to 5, 1 to 6, and I just personally ignore them for now. But Wycombe have a top of League One. They've won 12 out of the last 14, and they take on an Exeter side that have lost 4 of the last 6, 3 of the last 5, and they've played 4 games against teams inside the top 7 in League One, and they've lost all 4, conceding 2+ in each game and only scored once, which obviously backs up the theory of BTS no, but I think just sticking Wycombe to win. You could put Wycombe and over 1.5 team goals if you want, but for me, I'm just gonna go with Wycombe to win. The last and final leg comes in this MK Dons Chesterfield game, and as you can see here, both BTTS and over 2.5 are selected. MK Dons are flying at the moment, 1-5 on the bounce, scored 2+ in all 5 games, and 3 or more in 4 out of 5. They also haven't kept a clean sheet in 11 games, so pretty good form for goals. Chesterfield, lower at 60% on the recent form, but they have seen 3+ goals in 4 of their 5 matches against top 6 sides. And the reason I like over 2.5 more than both teams to score here is, one, MK Don's scoring form has been unbelievable. But also Chesterfield beat Doncaster 3-0 away from home, and they beat Crewe 5-0 away from home. So they're capable of beating these top sides and putting up big goal numbers. So that's going to be my treble for today. So we've got Wycombe to win, Colchester, Swindon, both teams to score, and MK Dons, Chesterfield over 2.5 goals. That pays out a little over 5-1 by Bet365. And we also get the early payout with the Wycombe win. So that looks good to me. Best of luck if you follow that one. Moving on to the Bet Builder tool. This is what I've been using to generate the best bet selections and deliver over 9% ROI so far this season. We do use Optadata, which is important to note because bookmakers use Optadata to settle bets in these markets, especially with like passes, fouls, tackles, all those sort of subjective opinion type bets. My filters, I only use the competition that it's in, so I will only use Premier League games. In Premier League games, I don't want to use like League Cup or Champions League or whatever. I don't feel like that's relevant, to be honest. Stats wise, I have all of the player stats listed. Team stats I turn on and off. You could turn them off. You could have them on. I use one team to look at a bigger sample of data, but you could use 2 teams if you want. Date range, I use all games, but there is some relevant stuff coming up where, for example, Leicester have just changed the manager, Man United have just changed the manager. You can use date range and only see games after a certain date, which is quite a cool feature. And then you can flip between all games or home games or only away games. So that's how I use the tool. Let's get into a couple of bets I like today and a bet builder for this Ipswich Palace game. So the first bet I like the look of is one we backed on the weekend, which is Daniel Munoz, 1 shot. So yeah, if you also star the player, it brings them to the top of the table for every stat. So it makes looking at who they've played against a lot easier, basically. So you can see here that Munoz is in great form, had 2+ shots in 4 of his last 5 games. Palace are playing with much higher wing backs since Glasner made a tactical tweak a few games ago. And yeah, Munoz is firing with 2+ shots in 4 of his last 5, and he's 4-7 with Bet365 to have 1+ shot. So that looks a pretty solid option against an Ipswich side that you can see here that are allowing 14.92 shots per game. So that looks good to me. The second bet I like is Ismail Sarr shot on target. Again, 2+ shots in 4 of the last 5. Had a shot on target in 5 of the last 6. Same sort of line here. I think Eze is back. That will eat into his shot count over the long run, but then he played on Saturday, and it's obviously Tuesday night, short turnaround. He's just come off a long layoff, so I can't see Eze playing, above 60 minutes. Even if he does make the start, he may just come on for a cameo. But Glasner did say that he is fit, ready to start. So while I think he'll feature, I don't think he's going to eat into his shot production too much just yet. But I would keep an eye on that moving forward once Eze gets back up to match fitness and sharpness. The other bet I like is in the fouls market. Sam Morsey is being a great foul servant this season. 2+ fouls in 4 of his last 5 games, and quite a few others. You can see here he's got a great matchup really against. Obviously Eze's back. He's playing more centrally. They're playing 2 in behind the striker centrally. So he's drawing fouls at 1.75 per 90. And then you've got Sarr playing in behind Mateta. So these two are playing in behind Mateta, which they're drawing fouls at 1.75 and 1.92 per 90, which is a great return on the fouls drawing. So I think he could be in for a bit of a tough one. Calvin Phillips is a bit shorter. I don't think he's dealing with a bit of an injury doubt. He may start, he may not. But Morsi's also been in the media a little bit around the him not wanting to wear the armband, so that could be some sort of psychological. He might sort of have some frustration around that as well. So there's a little bit of an angle there for him to continue his foul streak, basically. So you put those three together and include the Bet365 winning Bet Builder boost, which is 25% boost. That pays a little over 9-2, which I think is great value. I also like the Sarr bet as a best bet and the Sam Morsi 2+ fouls best bet. There is another selection I like in this match for a best bet, which is Trevor Chalobah 1+ foul 1. As you can see, since moving from Chelsea, he's won a foul in 6 out of the 7 games he's played. But also, if you look at Ipswich's fouls, their leading fouler is Liam Delap. And Ipswich press hard at home. He's had 2+ fouls in 4 out of 6 at home, averaging 2.2 fouls per 90. So him to win 1+ foul at even money seems like value. There are some of these defenders which are quite good value for fouls won, I've been noticing recently, and I do like Trevor Chalobah 1+ foul at even money. The other game in the Premier League takes place between Leicester and West Ham. This is Van Nistelrooy's first game in charge, and it could be Lopetegui's last game, to be honest. I'm not keen to get involved here before teams. I do have a few bets circled that I may bet after team news, but I want to tread carefully with limited data under a new manager. There are tons of games on each day now, and I won't be betting for the sake of it or taking any marginal spots. I will quickly run through some angles that look good as pieces for bet builders, though. The first one of those is Jared Bowen 1+ shot on target. You can see that he's had a shot on target in 4 out of the last 5 games here. And Leicester are giving up 5.77 shots on target per game. That could change under Van Nistelrooy, but it may be too early. It's one to think about. He's 2-5 to have a shot on target. The next up is Buonanotte, 2+ shots. He's had 2+ shots in 5 out of his last 6 and 3+ shots in 4 out of his last 6. So, again, against the West Ham defence that's been giving up 16.38 shots per game. That one looks pretty good to think about at 1-2 with Bet365 or 2-5 with Paddy Power. We're going into the fouls markets next for 2 bets that are of interest and could potentially be a best bet. So Connor Cody started last game randomly. Is making his first start of the season. He's 31 now. He hasn't played much this season. Could be one to think about looking at for a foul. He's 5-6 for 1+ foul, which I thought was big, but have to see if he starts again. Small sample size. Need to see the lineup for that one, really. The second one is Leicester's leading fouler. You can see here, Wilfred Ndidi. He's played a variety of different positions under Steve Cooper, from 10 to holding midfield. So again, you just need to see where the new manager's going to use him before actually getting involved with him. It would be a sort of small piece of a bet builder as well. I wouldn't be doing anything as a single there. Next is 3 bets in the fouls won market. The first one is Jared Bowen. He's obviously been winning a lot of fouls, gets a lot of the ball. Leicester were under Steve Cooper anyway, were quite an aggressive side through the central of the park. So he might start through the middle, he might start out wide. Again, you can't really play that before actually seeing a 1+ foul 1 is 2-5. Somerville is the next one up. 1+ foul and 3 out of his last 4. He does struggle for minutes. But again, you have to see if he starts and see who starts opposite him for Leicester. And the final one is Thomas Soucek. Again, he's been picking up fouls recently, 4 out of his last 5. He's played a mix of roles under Lopetegui, but again, in the 10, holding midfield. He could be one that is worth backing because, like I say, they do have some foul-heavy midfielders. Indeed, if he plays deeper, Harry Winks if he plays, but he is dealing with a knock, so he's a doubt. So we just have to see who plays there. Those are some bets you can think about for the Leicester West Ham game. As I said, I won't be getting involved myself before team news, but keep an eye on social media in case we do release any best bets after team news. That's all for today. Thank you for stopping by if you've got this far. It's been a bit longer than I wanted to do this episode, but we will be shortening the episodes moving forward, and I'll try and do a how to use separate videos so you don't have to run through how I use the tools each time, and we'll dive straight into the bets. Thanks for dropping by and take care. Have a great day.